Hi, true crime community. I have quite a bit information on Kiely Rodni case. So the first thing I want to talk about is these breadcrumbs. Okay, so from the beginning of this case, I just feel that I don't know who it is, who's involved with it, but I just think they're throwing out these breadcrumbs to lead us away from what they don't want us to see or know. So the number one block, I would say, would be Sammy and her other friends. Her other friends, and I think these people are involved. So it's going to be Connor O'Bannon, Nate Kuba Kangan, he's the one that was arrested for the fentanyl. Magdalene Wick, she's the one that she was supposed to go camping with Kiely the next day. Magdalene, who went to the party with her but left 10 minutes afterwards. Noah Carter, and he was arrested on September the 10th. Charlie Holderman, he's a 34-year-old. He shouldn't even be hanging out with these kids. He has cancer, and there's an incident with the flannel shirt that Kiely was seen wearing at one point. Kate Kuno, Jagger Westfall, Ronnie Jones, and by the way, he's not a black fella. He's a white person. Celicia Sling, which we talked about in my prior video today, which she's running scared, and I don't know if she was the lady with the baby. I don't know. That got killed in my last video. I don't know. We have Xana May, who was thrown in there. Tony Dodge, SF Investigates, Jane Doe 1 and 2, Mylan Towing, and then that Megan lady. So those people are involved somehow. We'll go back to these breadcrumbs that they keep throwing us to get off of things that we're finding. I think they keep throwing these things out there. We talked about Tony Dodge, Xana May, Ronnie, Celicia Sling. And I just want to say it was no coincidence that Xana May kayaked right over Kiely's car. I won't believe that ever. I think she's involved somehow. I'm not sure how. And I know that she, one of the videos that I put out, I found everything on Google, everything. And I could have fought her on it, but I took my video down. But I know Xana May is involved. You're not in the military or in NASA with purple hair. Give me a break. Give me a break. I mean, what idiot would believe that you work for NASA or you're in the military with purple hair or saying the things that she's saying on these YouTube videos and kayaking over dead bodies? Please, we're not stupid. At least I'm not. Let's see here. And Kiely's mom, Lindsay, sorry, she's not going to get a break from me. She talked about Kiely before her body was found. She talked in the past tense. She laughed and smiled on interviews. She had that crazy, whatever you want to call it, celebration of life with her cult shit. And it is a cult shit. I don't care if it's Wiccan, if you want to call it Wiccan, you want to call it Hinduism. I don't care. It's something like that. Gosh. And then she would not participate in the search. Who does? Who has any education and searching. But the communities come out, which they didn't want the communities to really help. You know, communities go out, they come out to help. They want to help you find your child. Oh, but you're not going to go help. You're not going to go help find your daughter, which sometimes I question if she is your daughter. Ugh. And, you know, in the beginning, everyone says, oh, Kiely's responsible. She's always the designated driver. She's a good kid. She wouldn't do anything like that. And then, after they find her body, what? Oh, she was so wasted. She was so wasted. There's no way. What did Sammy say? There is no way that she could have even driven a car. She was so wasted. Yeah. But yet you're saying she drove the car into the lake. But she was so wasted she couldn't drive. Make up your damn mind, would ya? Please? Could somebody please try and tell the truth? Oh my Lord. And in the beginning, what did they do? Oh, yeah, she was abducted because she couldn't drive. She was abducted. And where did Jagger and Kate go? To Reno. Why did they go to Reno? Oh, she was probably trafficked or, you know. You guys are, oh my gosh. Excuse me, SF investigates. He was there in the beginning, right? In the beginning, there he was, right there, causing his little conflicts. Oh my gosh. The two Jane Does. And let's not forget, Check It TV. And I have some more to say about him. Let's not forget him. I already mentioned Jagger and Kate. The roadside assistant guy named Nick. And then I'm going to mention AWP. And everybody's upset with them because they hadn't shared the video. But they can't share the video because it's unlawful for them to share the video because, you know, I think law enforcement probably had an agreement with them. So, yeah. And then Megan, the community Megan, she went on all these different channels. She taped somebody without them knowing. I think she was, you know, another roadblock for us. The autopsy was a joke. I think that was another issue. And then, now, do not get me wrong, okay? What Jarrett did was definitely very bad. Very bad. But that's Jared, okay? The other guys in AWP, they need to buy Jared out, and Jared, you go have a nice life, and let the other guys buy him out because they do good work. So anyhow, let me get back to it. Now that I said this is, I'm not sticking up for Jared, okay? And I'll tell you a little bit more in a minute. But isn't it strange? Isn't it so strange that this cousin went on a chat for victims of SA, and she did that back in February. Not to mention the 30 years that has gone by, okay? And in February, she went on a chat for, you know, survivors, which I'm glad that will help you. It helps some people, okay? And, you know, I'm thankful she found that, and maybe she can heal, you know, and, you know, there's definitely some family issues there. But, you know, I had family issues too. And you have to sit here and you have to say, okay, what's causing all this conflict in my life? What's it going to take to make Barb happy? I asked myself that one day, you know, and this was many years ago. And I sat down and wrote on a piece of paper. I mean, I'm staring at this piece of paper in front of me. What's it going to take to make me happy? Well, you know what? I started asking myself, what are the things that make me unhappy? And I started eliminating them out of my life. And I healed from it. It's amazing. You know, it's like, did I fire my family? Pretty much. You know, I didn't have anything to do with them. I would never, ever let my mother near my children. Ever. So sometimes you have to make those choices. And does it hurt? Yeah, it does hurt. But there's a way to handle it, and I'll get to that. Anyhow, back to AWP. Now, I find it extremely funny that in February she went into this chat for survivors, and then November the 4th, she went to the police and there's an indictment now for Jared. You know who broke the story? Want to know something funny? Who broke this story about Jared? SF Investigates. And he still has links to Kiely's family. Now, I find that very, very strange. Now, do I think Jared needs to pay for his mistakes? Absolutely. I find this timing really crappy, though. That's just my opinion. And this video's for education and my opinion, and you don't have to agree with it. But let me tell you a little story. You never, ever get over, I'm saying it, a rape. You don't. You never get over it. You come to terms with it in your own way, because hate will, if you have hate for someone, it'll just tear you up and it will ruin your life. Not their life, your life. Okay? So who's winning? He's still winning. Okay? You don't let them win. And I'm not going into it, do not feel like I'm a victim. Nope, I'm not. You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm a warrior. I was 6 years old when it happened to me. And it didn't happen to me once. Many, many times. And it wasn't by one person either. Okay? So, I'm not a victim. I'm not a survivor. I'm a warrior. That's why I joined the Army at age 17. So, this is what you do. I feel there is no way I let the people who violated me and took my childhood away from me, my innocence away from me. I hold my head up high and I look at them. I don't avoid them. I'm not the person that did anything wrong. I was freaking 6 years old. Just like that cousin, just like that sister. You were little. You didn't do anything wrong. So why are you going to run? Why are you going to hide? Why are you not going to have ties with your family? You need to hold your head up high and you look at them in their eyes. And I'll tell you what, they won't look at you in your eyes. They're like a dog putting their tail between their legs. And they sink down and they shudder. When you stand up and hold your head up high and you look into their eyes, you make them leave. You're not the one who did something. They're the ones who did something wrong. So why should your life be ruined? Now, I do know that it affects you. You know, it has ruined a couple of my relationships. I'm not going to lie. You know, it took a lot of working through the trauma. But you can't let them win. You can't. You got to stop thinking of yourself as a victim or a survivor. Think of yourself as a warrior. Every time you look in the mirror, you think of yourself as a warrior. And you look at them with disgust. Just look at them like, ugh. Okay, so the other thing is they couldn't take anything away from me today. They could when I was little, but they can't today. They see me now and they can't look at me in my eyes. I now feel like I'm so far above them. They would not stop me from going anywhere, not to my families, not anywhere. I would go where I want to go and, you know, hold my head up high. I'm not the one who did anything. They are. I do not have compassion for some people. I do have compassion for the people who went through the same thing I went through. But I don't dare let people call me a victim or a survivor. I'll probably get pretty mad at you if you would. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I hate that. You know, it's like I don't want that. And you know what? I've forgiven the people who took advantage of me. I forgive them. Karma's a bitch. It is. And what's really rewarding is when you live long enough to see karma. That's rewarding. And you know what? We're all sinners. All of us. We're all sinners. So the people out there that are sitting there pointing fingers, like I said in a few of my other videos, it's like a witch hunt. Hang them. Put them away. Who are you to judge anyone? We're all sinners. And you don't judge somebody until you walk a mile in their shoes. That's what I always teach my kids. Man. The only person that has the right to judge anybody is my Lord, okay? And He will. And until then, I love looking directly into their eyes and watch them cower to me. Our God will take care of it, okay? So you hold your head up high and think that you're a warrior and watch them cower to you. And that's my spill on AWP. But don't blame the other guys. Don't blame them for all the good that they do. They have families. You know, they have to take care of their families, and they are good people. Okay, they're innocent in this. Okay, so please don't judge them. Jared, yes. Okay, so let me get back to this because, oh my gosh, I found so much. So I want to remind everybody that these few things that I found, and this is my opinion, the fire cam footage is a joke. It's not real. It's tampered with. It really wasn't a night vision fire cam. And, you know, I've been getting so many emails and comments, you know, from the Truckee community. I don't care. I don't care. And people, you know what? It drives me crazy. You know, I'm not an expert, but, you know, and if somebody, you know, mispronounces a medical word or, you know, they say something that's not medically correct, I don't go in the chat and correct them. You know, it's like, you guys, I tell ya, You must live really boring lives, some of you that come in there and say, well, this is the, you know, I mean, I love to be educated. You know, I had a fire investigator guy, and he told me some things about the fire cams, and I love learning like that. But the people that, you know, get in there and, you know, tell you you misspelled this word or you forgot to dot this, please don't waste my time. If you have something significant to say, or you want to tell me, hey, that's not really right, I'm all for that. I love that. You know, I love when somebody, you know, tries to teach me something new or tell me I have something wrong. You know, I'm all for that. You know, I'm not saying that. The ram that was on the back of Kiely's car, it has a cult meeting. We'll talk about that in my next video. I told you about AWP and how they couldn't put that second half out. Okay, the lodge, they're having financial difficulties. And let me tell you something about the lodge. And this is way interesting. So, David Robertson, which is Kiely's dad. Let me see, where is he? Oh, over here. Excuse me, he's over here. I could not find anywhere. Now, it said that he went to Truckee and found that piece of property in 1998. It was 2.8 acres. I did find that he bought it from Walt Harvey in 1980. And no, in 1998. In 1980, Walt Harvey developed a ski resort up there in Coldstream. Now, what I found was really, really interesting is I couldn't find anywhere where David Robertson owned that property. It was Kathleen Robertson. And, you know, she was a nurse, but let her license expired. She's 66 right now. And she owned the property from 2000 to 2021, I think it was. Yeah. Oh, and you should see, they bought the land for $25,000, and you should see what it's what it's tax appraised as, like $660,000, something like that. It's crazy. I did find that David Robertson also has a 2008 foreclosure. And I found something extremely crazy and interesting. Remember how I said, you know, you go to learn about this person and this person jumps in and they're connected, and then another state is involved, and then they come back. Oh gosh, yes. So let's go back to Sammy Smith's mother and father. Guess where? Well, yeah, they rented a place, so I'm assuming they lived there, but I don't know. I just know that they are linked to a house that they rented, they didn't buy it, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania from 1994 to 2006. Well, guess who else has a link to Pennsylvania? David Robertson. David Robertson, I found that he had a, Pennsylvania telephone number. So he had a Pennsylvania telephone in his name, but I couldn't find where he had rented anything. You know, I'm still researching some of these people. There's a fella, oh geez, where did I put it? Yeah, it's going to be somewhere here. But anyhow, he's related to David Robertson. I can't remember his name, but I'll find it. Anyhow, you should see his police record. Oh my Lord. He was arrested for like everything but murder. He was arrested for sexually abusing someone, RAPE. Oh my God, there's like pages upon pages, and he was only in his 30s. Oh, I can't believe it. I have it copied if anybody's interested in seeing it. This weekend, that's probably why I haven't been on here. I had my grandkids this weekend. Their mom had to go away to Colorado, so I had those three. Then I was trying to learn how to do stuff on the Mac, and and then I'm working a lot because I'm going to Arizona at the end of the week. So I've been so busy, but I really wanted to get this stuff out to you. And if there's other creators that can use some of my findings, that would be awesome. That might help them. But yes, so I thought it was interesting that the Robertsons have links to Pennsylvania. So do Cindy Smith and James Smith. And do you want to know something extremely interesting? Yeah, Sierra Tahoe investigators, right? They own that. Cindy and James own that. Neither one of them have an investigation license. And you want to know something else? You should see Cindy's husband's record. His criminal record. Yeah, it's really interesting because there's like a whole page of it, of his criminal record, that there is parts that are missing. You don't know. He had charges, but they're blank. Imagine that. Ooh, I can show you. Yep, sure can. Let's see. Let me see what else I want to tell you. Okay, we talked about that. You already know about Lindsay's husband, Tony, and his charges with the corporal injury on a spouse. And he had like 7 failure to appear and DUIs and hot mess. He's a hot mess too. Okay, so we talked about all of that. Yep. Okay, now let's go over here. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is I think that there may be connections to either Cindy or Robertson's and Nevada Energy and Berkshire Hathaway, but I don't know yet. I'm still looking for that. Let's see. I told you guys about that. No, wait. Oh, the other thing that's been floating around out there is Kiely could have driven herself into the water and she kicked the gear shift accidentally into neutral. No, she can't kick the gear shift into neutral. Can't go into neutral unless you squeeze you got to squeeze that button and pull it back. So she could not have kicked it. There's no way. And they were not supposed to find her car until today, after the elections today. Don't forget to vote. But that's, because they're supposedly draining that, and they weren't supposed to find her car until after today. Let's see. Said she was, I'm not going to even talk about that. I do know that this investigation is still open, and I'm so happy about that. So happy about that. Oh, yes. Let me see. Oh, here's a very interesting fact. Nate Hambrick, which is Sammy's boyfriend, or was his boyfriend. I don't know if they're still together now that she left. His dad is named Robert Hambrick, and he's a political dad. He was Nancy Pelosi's son's boss, Robert was. I thought that's interesting because I know Nancy Pelosi's involved somehow with this crazy ass town, or she wouldn't have a place up there. Her and, I'm not going to say anymore. So I told you about that. I told you about that. I don't know what that is. I can't remember. So I'm just going to go over here. Oh, back to this. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, you know, there is a government agency that is investigating this, and they're investigating that town, law enforcement, Kiely's issues, all these drownings and suspicious deaths. These are all being looked at right now, which makes me ecstatic. There are people looking into the black box and the findings. Let's see. Oh, there's so much fake accounts related to Truckee. One of the channels found an account of a hamburger joint in Hawaii, and it's just a front. So they're also finding fake accounts in Truckee linked outside of Truckee and outside of the state. The other thing, no one can find a birth certificate or record on Kiely or pictures before she was 5. And yeah, I'm just questioning, you know, is Lindsay her mom? Because of some of the things Lindsay said. And if you read that poem or whatever she wrote for the Moonshine Inc., which is also a very weird newspaper. But anyhow, if you read that poem, she talked about how she was locked up with their kids. I mean, it was a nice poem, don't get me wrong. But she mentioned how she was locked up with her kids and how they would have to yell and say 3 nice things to each other when they would get, you know, locked up or snowbound there. And she'd have to go hide in her room, you know, and she'd make her kids do jumping nope. So I don't know if Kiely was born in the United States. I'm still looking. There are several FBI inquiries that are still open. So that's good. There's a active campaign of false information that's being put out there, especially to us, which we know. That's those breadcrumbs I talked about earlier, those blocks that they keep throwing out to throw us off the trail. There are people actively looking into that autopsy. And I was also told that dental DNA and even fingerprints could have came off of a person who their skin came off. They could still pull prints from that because we have the technology now. So don't let them bullshit you. The phone in Kiely's car wasn't Kiely's phone. Any evidence that Check It TV found is not, we're not able to use that in a court of law. So, you know, that evidence is just, he wasted his time. That didn't do anything for the case except make law enforcement look more like assholes and idiots. It'll be thrown out of court. I was also told that the car went in the water twice, or 2 different cars went in the water. And Kiely was not over the legal limit. And Kiely, you know, she smoked pot. That's evident. And that's evident that their cult stuff, they smoke pot. The mom, the dad, all of them, they smoke pot. And she wasn't over the legal limit as far as alcohol goes. And so, you know, that wasn't an issue in her driving into the lake. So I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe she drove into the lake. And I don't believe that she was in the lake for 2 weeks either. No way. And, you know, there's still a extra good possibility that Sammy and whoever provided drugs and alcohol to those kids they're going to get in trouble for that. I already talked about that. I just want to express to have faith that this is all going to be investigated. There is definitely law enforcement corruption, and this government agency is quite well aware of it. The parents are also responsible for their children, and they're shady as hell. And they, you know, these parents that they're responsible to make their children live the lives of lies and cover-ups that they've been making their kids do. The lies and cover-ups. You know, the parents that are like, shh, shh, don't say anything, and all the lies and cover-ups they've been telling their kids, you know, that's gotta affect them. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is there were never any memorials at at Kiely's school. There weren't any teachers that ever spoke on her behalf. There wasn't a group graduation picture from that school. Here where I live, you know, there would have been something up at the school and memorials at this school. And yeah, it would have been a big thing. And when that happens here, that's what we do. Something sinister did happen. The other thing is, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I also do not believe she was in the water for 2 weeks. Okay, this is a big one. I keep forgetting to talk about this. But who plans a party all summer long, an end of the year party before school starts, and for seniors who are going off to college? Who plans this party all summer, and then after 2 to 3 hours, everybody leaves all at once? They all just leave all at once. And after all this talk and all these text messages, we're going to have this party. Who does that? Have you ever been to a party where everybody gets there, they stay for 2 hours, and everybody leaves all at once? I've never been at a party where everybody got in their cars and leave at once. And we would stay until the sun came up. You know, it's like I never heard of such a thing. And Meg's only going there for 10 minutes and then leaving with her boyfriend. Come on. That just doesn't make sense. Why would you even drive there? Give me a break. I don't believe Kiely was there. I am so thankful that there's an outside investigation going on of Placer County, Nevada County, Kiely's incident, several other kids, and other issues in that town that is going to be looked into as well. We are going to get our answers. We really are. I believe it. And like I said, I have another drowning that I want to bring out there. Those accidental drowning that happened up there. And I have many interesting background checks that I've done if anyone's kind of interested in. I mean, I talked about most of them, but if you wanted to see pictures, at least I have the receipts anyhow. So I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to try and make 1 or 2 more videos before I leave for Arizona, but I'm thinking about you all the time. I love your comments, and I get so many people telling me to keep going, and you just inspire me. So I love you all for that, and God bless you, and have a blessed day. Bye.